Good afternoon, my fellow constituents. My name is Davie, and I would just like to take the time to discuss with you the ethical and logical issues surrounding cloud privacy, and to reintroduce a proposed bill, the Cloud Computing Act of 2012. Now, let me take a step back for a second. What is cloud computing? It's technically defined as a complex series of networks that allow you to save and share different information. According to SOSTA, who is a leader in cloud testing, stated that 39% of Americans use some form of cloud computing. Now, to me, I see that as 39% of Americans who are at risk of invasion of privacy within the cloud. And I say all this to urge you, my fellow constituents, to support Senator Mark Warner to reintroduce the Cloud Computing Act of 2012, which will serve as a benchmark for the fight in cloud privacy laws. And it'll work in cooperation with the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1986. The Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1986 loosely states the penalties associated with unauthorized use within the cloud. Granted, this law was written in 1986. Back then, there was no iCloud, there was no Netflix or anything like that. The Cloud Computing Act of 2012 works to improve the enforcement of criminal and civil laws associated with unauthorized use within the cloud. Now, what it actually does is states that each unauthorized use within the cloud will serve as a criminal offense, as opposed to one big charge, which it is now. A failure to stand against the fight in cloud computing would honestly be like letting a stranger or criminal into your home with all your valuables and saying, here you go, you're more than welcome to all of them. And frankly, we can't afford to make that sacrifice. In December of 2013, Target faced one of the largest breaches in cloud computing. The information of over 40 million credit and debit cards were stolen from their cloud account. Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, was actually quoted as saying, "With cloud privacy, you don't own anything." Steve Wozniak, who was a driving force behind iCloud, was quoted as saying that. About 2 years ago, my brother moved out to Colorado. And the first couple weeks they had to get everything squared away. I believe it was 3 or 4 houses down. One of his neighbors actually hacked into his iCloud account and stole everything. I'm talking account information, debit card information, account passwords, pictures when he was in college, and pictures of loved ones that have passed away within our family. And I actually talked to him about 2 weeks ago, and he said that he's still trying to get all that information back to this day. Just a quick show of hands, how many people have some form of iCloud or Netflix or anything like that? I want you all to think about what's in there. Maybe credit card information or account passwords or pictures of loved ones or anything like that. And someone reaching their hand in there and ripping that information out, and you can only charge them one time for it. Now understand, many people say, Brett, who's to say what information is worth what? The Cloud Computer Act of 2012 actually touches on that. It states that the value of the loss of the information must be greater than the use of the information, which is completely understandable. So I say all this in conclusion. I urge you to support Senator Mark Warner to reintroduce the Cloud Computing Act of 2012. Thank you.